What's up, Diamond Gang family? It is your boy True here, back again with yet another video. Back. And this is Vitamin's Day 21. You guys, literally, we are 4 days away from Christmas. This is so crazy to think that it is really almost Christmas 2020. Like, what is going on? But, yeah, you guys, for today's video, I decided to bring you guys a story time / mukbang type of ordeal. So, we're going to be eating on some Subway, y'all. And, I got a little story time that needs to be brought to y'all. So, for today's topic, I decided to share with you guys the origin or where I got my drag name from, because it is a question that I get asked a very lot of times throughout a day. So yeah, guys, I decided why not bring you guys that story time. So yeah, guys, real quick for those guys that are new here and this is your first time here on my channel, make sure you guys press that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell that's right next to it. Make sure you guys will follow me on my business Instagram so that you guys can stay connected with me throughout my entrepreneur endeavors, and make sure you guys will follow me on all of my personal social media so that you guys can stay connected with me when I'm not in front of the camera. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright, you guys, so before we even get into this story, let's take a bite. Alright, you guys, so this story time takes place back in about 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. So when I started doing drag in about 2016, and I had a long list of names that just kind of resonated with nothing. When I first started out, I had started off under the name of Shayonce Cruz, and I always like to think that I was a mixture of Shea Coulee and Beyonce, and if they somehow came together and had a love child with the Mexican, it would have been me. Why? I don't know. That's just the mindset that I had. So I went through a very like long discovery of what type of queen that I wanted to be, and I entered into the pageant realm. Now, when you enter into the pageant realm, they usually like to have you to have a name that fits A, your aesthetic, and B, the pageant scene. So, I did a pageant, just like a regular, like, little local pageant here in, Tennessee. And when I applied under the name Hysteria. So, y'all, of course, they ended up like not allowing me to use that name, and I was like, oh my god, okay girl, you need a new name. So y'all, I'm in the dressing room and I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh y'all, what y'all know good, cause girl, you need a new name. So I'm coming up and I'm just writing out like little names. I started getting on like Google, and I'm like looking at like, you know, trying to find like drag names and things like that. And I ended up taking a test. And the test that I took was like a little millennial, like, it was like a, it wasn't even like a millennial test. It was like a, what was it called? The test was titled like, who is, like, what would your drag name be, or something like that. And so it had like all of these questions. It was like 15 questions. And I took the test, and it gave me like this name, and I think it was like Monica Tension.
Probably had the right idea, right, but the wrong bitch. Hello.
And I was like, ew, I do not like that. Like, that is so ugly. So I was like, oh my god, girl, you do not have a name still. So it's like trickling down, you know, like time is passing. They need like all of our paperwork and stuff so they could like, you know, put it together for everything. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm finna go home because, baby, you do not have names. Hurry, y'all. Okay, guys. So, as I was getting ready to, like, get, you know, to transition from my boy self to my female self, I had ended up going to the bathroom because I had to pee, like, really bad. But before this, my drag sister had actually turned on America's Next Top Model, and we were sitting there and we were watching Cycle 12. And so, I started talking about my grandmother, and I was like, y'all know that that cycle 12 is the last cycle that I ever watched of America's Next Top Model with my grandmother before she passed away. And before, you know, they announced the winner, we both had claimed that Tiana Anderson would have won season 12, and that's what happened. She ended up winning season 12. And so we were sitting there, and my sister was like, well, girl, that your name is Tiana. And I said, oh, I like that. I really like that. So I wrote on my paper, and I wrote Tiana on the paper, right? And so I went to go take it to the person who was in charge of the pageant. Well, they brought the paper bag after I had left to go to the bathroom. So the dude that I was talking to at the time was actually in the dressing room with me. And so, he fills out my last name or my second name on the paper, and then gave it back to the lady. So when I come back from the bathroom, he's like, oh, they just brought your paperwork back saying that it was incomplete and whatever. And I was like, what you mean incomplete? And he was like, they needed you to have a second name. And I was like, okay, so where's the paperwork? He was like, oh, don't worry about it, I already filled it out. And I was like, what? Alright, you guys, so a couple of minutes roll by or whatever, and they bring me like my little pageant number to, you know, put on my sash and everything or whatever. And so the lady comes and she knocks on the door. She's like, Tiana Janelle. And I looked at her and I said, looked at, you know, the dude that I was with. I said, who the fuck is she talking to? Because, girl, that ain't my name. And I was like, who are you looking for? He was like, is this Tiana Janelle's dressing room? And I was like, no. I was like, this is Tiana's dressing room. And she was like, oh, is there another Tiana here? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, but you're not at the right one, because I was like, I'm just the one name. And she was like, oh, okay. So she leaves out the room, and like, I guess she goes to like the other dressing rooms or whatever. And she comes back to my room like 3 minutes later, and I'm like, why does this lady keep coming back to my room? Like, girl, what you want? Like, what you know good?
What y'all know good?
So, y'all, when she comes back or whatever, and she was like, well, I went through all the other rooms, and there's no other, Tiana in the building. And I was like, well, ma'am, I don't know who you're looking for, but you're not looking for me. Not realizing that Janelle is the second name that the dude that I was talking to at the time wrote down on the paper, because he never told me. So she starts asking me, she's like, well, what's your boy name? And I tell her my boy name, and she's like, so you're Tyson? I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, oh, well, this is you. And I was like, well, who came up with this second name? And I looked at the dude that I was talking to. I said, did you write this down? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, bruh, I like that. That's clever. I was like, I like that little ring. So I sat backstage and I started putting it together, and I was like, Tiana Janelle. And so we had to do an entrance, like introduction for the pageant. And so I went up there and I said, greetings. I was like, greetings to the, you know, the pageant name. I can't remember what pageant it was. And I was like, I am the beautiful Tiana Janelle, and I'm here to give you guys hell. And the crowd just went wild. And yeah, so Tiana Janelle stuck from 2016, and here we are 2020, and I'm still Tiana Janelle. But yeah, you guys, that's basically how I got that name. Honestly, truly, it's probably not gonna ever change. I have been through so many different drag names. I've had like 4 names before I finally settled on Tiana, so we are definitely happy with the name that we have. But yeah, you guys, that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, make sure you guys leave this video a thumbs up, as well as comment down below any of the videos that you guys would like to see. If you guys have not already, make sure that you guys are following me on my business Instagrams, so that you guys stay connected with me throughout my entrepreneur endeavors. Make sure that you guys press that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell that's right next to it, because we are literally a subscriber away from 300, so why not get us there? And make sure that you guys follow me on all of my personal social media so that you guys can stay connected with me when I am not in front of the camera. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys in my next fitness video. Bye, guys.
What we do here is go back.
Oh.